He checked into the luxury hotel with the kind of confidence only a man hiding something carries. The lobby shimmered with golden lights, marble floors, and a scent that whispered elegance. But for him, it wasn't the beauty of the place that made his heart race, it was the woman standing beside him, the one who wasn't his wife. He thought everything about this moment was perfectly planned, a discreet reservation, a quiet suite on the top floor, and a promise of secrecy. He believed this hotel was far from his world, far from his home, far from the eyes of the one woman who trusted him more than anybody else. That belief was the first mistake he made that day. As he handed his ID to the receptionist, he kept glancing around. Every second felt stolen, every look felt risky, yet he was convinced he was careful enough. The receptionist smiled politely, unaware of the storm brewing in the shadows of this so-called perfect getaway. The woman with him, beautiful, younger, laughing softly, leaned on his arm as if she belonged there. For a moment, he believed he had fooled everyone, even himself. The elevator doors opened and he stepped inside with a sigh of relief. He thought he had escaped judgment, guilt, and consequences. On the way up, he imagined the evening ahead, champagne, soft music, and lies coated in charm. He tried to push away thoughts of his wife, the woman who had stood by him through the hardest years, who worked late nights to help build his business, who trusted him blindly. He told himself everything would be fine. Just one night. Just one mistake. No one would know. But fate has a way of timing truth perfectly, especially for those who try to outrun it. Inside the suite, he poured wine while glancing at his phone. There were messages from his wife, kind, loving, simple check-ins. He didn't reply. He told himself it was better if she didn't know where he was. The woman he was with walked to the window, admiring the city lights below. Everything seemed calm. Everything seemed under control. Until the phone in the room rang. He froze when he heard it. Hotels rarely called unless something unusual occurred. He looked at his companion, then at the ringing phone, unsure whether to answer. His instincts warned him, but he picked it up anyway, trying to sound casual. The voice on the other side said only one sentence, "Please come down to the lobby. There's someone here who needs to speak with you." He felt his chest tighten. His mind raced. Had someone seen them? Had they been followed? Was this a cruel coincidence or the beginning of his downfall? He made an excuse to the woman, something about a quick confirmation at the front desk, and hurried out. The hallway felt longer than ever. With every step toward the lobby, his heartbeat grew louder. But nothing could have prepared him for what he saw when the elevator doors opened. His wife stood in the center of the lobby. Not angry. Not crying. Not shouting. She looked calm. Too calm. At first, he thought she had somehow followed him. But then he noticed something else, something that made his legs weaken. She wasn't standing as a betrayed wife. She was standing as someone with authority. There were managers beside her, staff members addressing her with respect, and documents in her hand with the hotel's logo printed boldly. Then came the sentence that shattered him. "I bought this hotel today." Those 6 words hit him harder than any accusation could. His wife, the woman he underestimated for so long, the woman he believed was busy with her own work and responsibilities, was now the owner of the very place he chose for his betrayal. She wasn't just his wife at that moment, she was a woman who had built something powerful on her own, quietly, without ever boasting. He could feel the eyes of the staff on him. His throat tightened. His palms grew sweaty. He wanted to run, explain, deny, anything but face the truth standing right in front of him. His wife looked at him, her eyes holding a mixture of heartbreak and strength. She didn't need to ask why he was there. She already knew. But what broke him wasn't her anger. It was the fact that she wasn't angry at all. She simply said, "I hope you checked in comfortably," in a voice so steady it sliced through him. That calmness was worse than rage. Rage would have meant she still cared enough to fight. But calm meant she had already made a decision about him, one he might not be ready to accept. He opened his mouth to speak, but words refused to form. Every lie he thought he could use felt pointless. Every excuse felt small. She had given him love, trust, and loyalty, and he had traded it for a temporary thrill. The staff silently stepped away, respecting her privacy as the owner. He felt like a stranger in front of the woman he had shared years of his life with. She finally said, "You promised honesty. You promised partnership. But you forgot I have strength too." He felt tears press against his eyes, but he blinked them back. She didn't. Her eyes glistened, not because she was broken, but because she was done. She handed him a small folder. Inside were documents she had prepared, not out of revenge, but out of self-respect. She told him she wasn't going to fight or argue. She was choosing herself now. The woman who had sacrificed so much for his success was finally stepping into her own power, leaving behind the weight of his betrayal. He wanted to fall at her feet, apologize, beg for forgiveness, but she stopped him with a simple gesture. "You should go back upstairs," she said, her voice steady but soft. "Someone is waiting for you." And in that moment, shame swallowed him whole. He had never felt smaller, never felt more foolish. She walked away, head held high, while he stood in the middle of the lobby, realizing the truth he had avoided for so long. He didn't lose her because she wasn't enough. He lost her because he forgot who she was: strong, intelligent, capable of building an empire while he was busy destroying their marriage with secrets. He returned to the elevator, but the walls felt different now, colder, tighter, suffocating. When he arrived back in the suite, the woman he had brought along sensed something was wrong. He didn't explain. What could he even say? That the wife he betrayed had just become the owner of the hotel where he tried to hide. That the woman he thought he had outsmarted had quietly risen above him. Shame washed over him in waves. He sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor, realizing that in chasing something meaningless, he had destroyed something priceless. His wife had walked out of his life, not with fury, but with strength, grace, and dignity. And that alone made the loss feel permanent. He checked out early the next morning, head down, unable to meet the eyes of the hotel staff who now knew who he truly was. Every step toward the exit felt like a reminder of the moment he lost everything. The doors opened, sunlight pouring in, but he felt none of its warmth. As he walked away from the hotel, her hotel, he understood something too late: betrayal doesn't destroy love. It destroys the betrayer. And strength doesn't always shout. Sometimes it simply walks away, leaving behind silence powerful enough to change a life forever. And in that silence, he finally heard the truth he had ignored for years. He had lost not just a wife, but a partner, a believer, a woman whose quiet power outweighed every mistake he ever tried to hide.